At my daughter's intervention, she screamed, "You all hate me." My mother sobbed, "We just want you back." My father shook his head, "She's gone too far." I sat beside her and whispered, "Then let me show you something." As she watched the video of herself from last night, her tears finally fell. I'm 45, name's Mark. I live just outside of Chicago. I've never been one to post stuff like this, but after what happened recently, I need to get it out. I don't care if this gets buried or blown up, but if anyone's out there dealing with something similar, maybe this will help you feel less alone. Or maybe not. I don't know. All I know is, it's been hell. This story is about my daughter, Jessica. She's 21 now. Only child. Smart as hell, funny, kind-hearted. She used to be the type of kid teachers loved, the one who stayed after class to help clean up, who stuck up for others. You'd never think she'd end up here. I remember when she got into Northwestern. We were so damn proud. She worked her butt off all through high school, stayed away from drama, even helped take care of her grandma when she got sick. Laura, my wife, her mom, and I thought we did okay as parents. We're not perfect, but we loved her and gave her everything we could. The first red flag didn't even feel like a red flag at the time. Jessica stopped coming home as often. She said school was hectic, that she had projects and needed to focus. I believed her. Laura didn't. She kept saying, "Something's off." But I just thought she was being overprotective. Then the visits got shorter. Phone calls turned into dry texts. "Busy. Love you. Can't talk now." You know, the usual college kid stuff. Or so I thought. The second year, something changed. Her voice had no life in it. She looked tired in the few photos she posted. But she always smiled, said she was fine. I thought maybe it was just stress. College isn't easy, especially a place like Northwestern. One night, Laura got a phone call from one of Jessica's high school friends, Emily. She hadn't talked to us in years, so that was strange. Emily sounded panicked. She said Jessica had been partying a lot. Like a lot. Skipping classes. Hanging around guys with sketchy reputations. And drugs. My heart sank. But still, I didn't want to believe it. Laura cried that whole night. I told her not to jump to conclusions, that maybe it was exaggerated. Maybe Emily was jealous or something. Anything to make it not true. But then we visited Jessica one weekend. Unannounced. She looked like a stranger. Her dorm room was a disaster. Bottles, trash, weird smells, blackout curtains drawn. Her eyes were red, pupils blown. Her hands shook. She kept scratching at her arm. I knew what I was looking at. I just didn't want to admit it. "Jessie," Laura said, "what's happening to you?" Jessica laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was hollow, like she was trying to pretend everything was fine. She said, "You guys are being dramatic. I'm just tired." I told her we wanted her to come home, to take a break, reset. She snapped. "You don't get it. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't need your help." We left that night, not knowing what to do. A few months passed. She barely replied to texts. The only reason we knew she was alive was her bank charges. Bars, fast food, Uber rides at 2 a.m. Laura couldn't sleep anymore. I started drinking more. We were falling apart trying to figure out how to save someone who didn't want to be saved. Then came the call. Chicago PD, 3:08 a.m. Jessica had been arrested. Possession of cocaine. She'd been with two guys who were known dealers. Someone called the cops when she passed out at a party. EMTs brought her back. I don't remember the drive to the station. I don't remember much from that night, honestly. Just sitting there, looking at my baby girl in a holding cell, her makeup smeared, face bruised, arms marked with tiny burns. She didn't even look ashamed. Just gone. We bailed her out. She didn't say much on the ride home. She sat in the back seat, staring out the window. When we got home, she went straight to bed. Didn't say a word. That week, we contacted everyone we could. Therapists, rehab centers, old friends, even her former teachers. We needed help. We couldn't do this alone. Finally, we decided to do an intervention. We called the family. My parents, Laura's sister, even Emily. We all gathered at my brother's place in Naperville. It was quiet, tense. No one knew how this would go. When Jessica walked in and saw everyone there, her face changed. First, confusion. Then realization. Then anger. "What the F*** is this?" she yelled. "You ambushed me?" "We just want to talk," Laura said, tears already streaming down her face. "You all hate me. You think I'm some junkie whore," she screamed. My mother, bless her, stood up, hands shaking. We just want you back, she said, her voice barely audible. My father shook his head, didn't even look at her. She's gone too far, he muttered. Jessica looked around like a trapped animal. I don't need any of you. You're all pathetic. You want me to live like you? Miserable, stuck in the suburbs, pretending everything's okay. That's when I stood up. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I walked over to her, pulled out my phone, and said, "Then let me show you something." I hit play. It was a video Emily had sent me a few nights before. Jessica at a party, completely out of it, eyes half shut, barely able to stand. Guys around her laughing, touching her, taking selfies with her slumped over. Someone dumped beer on her head. She didn't react. One guy pulled her up like a rag doll and pretended to dance with her while his friend filmed. I held the phone steady, even when my hands were trembling. Jessica watched it. At first, she scoffed. "This is old." Then silence. Then her mouth opened like she wanted to say something, but nothing came out. Then her knees gave out. I caught her before she hit the floor. Her whole body started shaking. She looked up at me, finally crying, real tears. "Dad," she whispered, "I didn't know. I didn't know she couldn't finish." And that's where we are right now. Sitting in my brother's living room, my daughter curled up on the floor, crying like she hasn't in years. Laura's next to her, holding her tight. My mother's sobbing. My dad walked outside. We haven't figured out next steps yet. But for the first time in a long time, I think maybe, just maybe, she's finally seeing it. She cried for a long time. Nobody said a word. Just the sound of her crying filled the room. My wife kept her arms around Jessica like she was holding her together. But even in that moment, I knew the hardest part hadn't even started. After the video, Jessica stayed at our place for a few days. She didn't talk much. She slept a lot. She wouldn't eat unless we sat with her. I took time off work. Laura did too. We wanted to be there, watch her, make sure she didn't try anything. The first night, I found her in the bathroom staring into the mirror. She was holding a razor. Just holding it. Not cutting. But her hand was shaking. I didn't say anything. I walked in, took it from her, and threw it in the trash. She didn't resist. She just stared at me. "I don't want to be like this," she whispered. "We'll help you," I said. "I don't deserve it." "You do." That felt like a win. But it didn't last. The next morning, we sat her down and brought up rehab. A place in Wisconsin had an opening. Private, quiet, professional. Expensive, but we didn't care. She refused. "I'm not like those people," she said. "I can stop on my own." "No," Laura said, calm but firm. "You can't. You already tried. It didn't work." Jessica snapped. "So what? You're gonna lock me away now?" "It's not prison," I said. "It's a chance. One we're giving you because we love you." She stormed out of the room, got in her car and drove off. I thought that was it. I thought we lost her again. But 2 hours later, she came back, sat on the couch and said, "Okay, I'll go." It should have felt like relief. But something about the way she said it, flat, distant, worried me. The day we were supposed to drive her to the rehab center, she disappeared. She left a note. Just one line. "I can't do this right now. Don't look for me." Laura broke down, again. I felt like the floor gave out under me. I called everyone. Her friends, her college roommate, even Emily. No one had heard from her. We filed a missing person report. Cops said we had to wait 24 hours. We didn't. I drove to every place I could think of. Old haunts. A few parks she liked. Gas stations. The city. I even checked hospitals. Nothing. Then, the next night, I got a text. From a number I didn't know. It was a photo. Jessica. Passed out on a dirty mattress in some motel room. The caption read, "Come get your girl." No name. No address. But the background showed a Super 8. I recognized the pattern on the walls. Naperville, Route 59. I called the cops, but I didn't wait. I drove straight there. When I found her, she was pale. Out cold. 2 guys were in the room. One opened the door. He looked maybe 22. Skinny, wired eyes, scratching his neck. "Relax, man. She's just tired." I didn't speak. I walked in, picked her up, and carried her out. I don't even remember driving home. Laura was waiting with the cops and paramedics. She screamed when she saw Jessica. She was taken to the ER. Overdosed. Barely made it. They pumped her stomach. Gave her 4 fluids. Kept her under observation for 48 hours. A nurse pulled me aside and said, "You need to act fast. This next time could kill her." So we did something drastic. When Jessica woke up, I was standing there with a court order. Involuntary rehab. She looked at me like I had stabbed her in the chest. You said you'd help me, she said. I am, I replied. You lied. I'm saving your life. She screamed. Cursed. Tried to get out of bed. But it was done. We had her committed. She's at the facility now. It's been 5 days. The staff say she's not cooperating. She won't speak to the counselors. She's refusing meds. They say she's angry. Bitter. I don't know what the right thing is anymore. Some days I think we did the right thing. Other days I feel like I betrayed her. I see Laura crying at night and wonder if we're breaking our daughter even more. Then today, something else happened. I got another text. No words. Just another photo. Jessica. In the rehab center. But this time, she was smiling. And beside her was one of the same guys from the motel. Same guy. Smiling too. Same creepy grin. I showed the photo to the staff. They don't recognize him. He's not supposed to be there. Not on any visitor logs. That's when it hit me. She didn't meet him there. She knew him before. She let him in. I don't know what this means yet. But it's worse than I thought. This isn't just addiction. This is something else. Okay. So here's the next part. I'm writing this while sitting in my car outside the rehab facility. I can't go in without setting off more alarms. And I honestly don't know who to trust right now. After I showed the photo of Jessica and that guy to the rehab staff, things moved fast. They confirmed he wasn't on the visitor list. Said they'd check the security footage and call the police if needed. Later that night, the director called me. Said I should come in for a private meeting. When I showed up, they had security footage queued up. It was from 2 nights ago. Around 1:30 a.m. The video showed that same guy slipping in through the back entrance. Hoodie, face half covered, but it was him. I recognized him instantly. Then it got worse. He didn't sneak in. He was let in. By a staff member. A young woman, probably in her mid-20s. Blonde ponytail. She swiped her badge, held the door open, looked around, then walked off like nothing happened. She didn't even look worried. The guy walked straight to Jessica's room. Stayed in there for 45 minutes. They didn't have cameras inside the room, for privacy reasons, but when he came out, he looked relaxed. Confident. Walked back out the same way he came in. No panic. No rush. Like he belonged. And Jessica? The next morning, she was smiling in the group session. First time since she arrived. That's when I knew. This wasn't just drugs. This was a setup. I told the director, you've got someone on the inside. You need to call the police. They hesitated. Said they'd launch an internal investigation first. That wasn't enough for me. So I did what I shouldn't have done. I started digging. I tracked down the guy from the photo. Took me 2 days, some shady corners of Reddit, and more time on Facebook than I'm proud of. Turns out his name is Caleb. 24 years old. From the south side of Chicago. Multiple arrests. Drugs, theft, minor assault. No convictions, but a record long enough to know he's bad news. Then I found a video on his old Instagram. From months ago. He's laughing into the camera. In the background, you can hear a familiar voice. Jessica. She's slurring her words. Giggling. Saying something like, I can't feel my legs. Then she leans into the camera and kisses him on the cheek. He says, say hi to my next paycheck. That's when it all clicked. This wasn't random. She was being used. He groomed her. Got her hooked. Kept her close. Probably feeding her just enough drugs to keep her dependent. And when she got busted, he stayed quiet, waited, found a way back in. And the blonde staffer? I haven't figured out who she is yet. But I'm getting there. Now here's where the twist really hits. Earlier today, I went to visit Jessica. The staff let me in, supervised. She looked distant. Not like before. Not angry. Not sad. Just vacant. I tried to talk to her. Told her everything I'd found out about Caleb. Told her he was using her. Showed her the old video. Her eyes filled with tears, but not for the reason I expected. She whispered, I already knew. I was stunned. You knew. She nodded. He promised he'd take care of me. That he loved me. Jessica, he's using you. Then she said it. He's not the only one. I froze. She wouldn't say anything else. Just sat there, rocking slightly, chewing on her lip. I left that visit more confused than ever. And just a few hours ago, I got a phone call. Unknown number. Same voice from before. Caleb. He said, you're digging too deep, Mark. You want your daughter to come home in one piece? Back off. Then he hung up. I called the police. Again. They said they'd look into it. But unless there's a direct threat or Jessica cooperates, their hands are tied. So now I'm sitting here in my car, watching the building. Something's not right inside that place. Jessica knew more than she let on. And someone, maybe more than one person, is helping him. This goes deeper than I ever thought. I thought I was trying to save my daughter from addiction. Now I think I'm trying to save her life. I'll post again soon. Something's coming. I can feel it. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed in the car, engine off, wrapped in my coat. My hands kept twitching, like my body wanted to do something. I was waiting for a sign, any sign, that Jessica needed me, that she was in trouble. Again. The next morning, I went straight back inside the rehab center. I wasn't asking for permission anymore. I demanded to see the director. I told them about the phone call, about the video, about the blonde staff member who let Caleb in. I told them everything, every twisted thread, and I didn't care who I made uncomfortable doing it. Eventually, they let me in a room with Jessica again. She looked worse. Not physically. Physically, she was clean. But her eyes were gone. Empty. Like someone had turned out the lights behind them. Jessica, I said, please, you need to tell me what's going on. She looked at me, eyes red. She hesitated. Then she broke. Everything came out in one long, messy wave. Caleb didn't just give me drugs, she said. He recorded things. Sold them. Videos. Pictures. He made money off me, Dad. My throat closed up. He had people. Other girls, too. He said if I left him or told anyone, he'd post it all online. He showed me the files. Said he'd ruin me. My life. Said I'd be worthless. I couldn't breathe. She kept going. I met him at a party freshman year. He was older, cool. Everyone liked him. He gave me coke. Said it'd help me stay awake for finals. It did. The first time. She wiped her eyes. He made me feel seen. Said my parents didn't understand me. That I was too smart for a boring life. And I believed him. I was frozen. Every word stabbed. But it got dark fast. He kept me high. Kept me isolated. Told me my friends turned on me. Said you and Mom didn't care. That you just wanted to control me. That's why I stopped answering. I didn't want to believe you were right. She reached for my hand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. I couldn't speak. I just held her hand and let her cry. But I wasn't done. Later that day, I went back to the facility with 2 cops. I had called a lawyer. Sent everything I had. Photos, texts, the voice recording of Caleb threatening me. We waited outside while the staff reviewed the security logs again. Finally, the director called us into the meeting room. And that's where it all came crashing down. The blonde staffer? Her name was Renee. She was new. Barely 3 months into the job. And she was Caleb's sister. That's how he got in. That's how he knew when to come. She fed him info. Let him in. Hid the security logs. She was part of it. Part of them. The director's face went pale. The cops immediately called for her. But she was gone. Disappeared. Badge left on her desk. Locker empty. She knew the walls were closing in. That night, I sat with Jessica in her room. No walls between us. No lies. No more hiding. You're not a victim anymore, I told her. You're a survivor. But you need to fight now. No one's coming to save you. Not even me. She nodded. I want to, she whispered. But I'm scared. So was I said. Every day you were gone. Then, as if fate wanted one last jab, my phone buzzed. A new text. No name. Just a photo. It was Laura. Black eye. Split lip. Sitting on the kitchen floor. And a message. Back off, or she's next. Caleb had been to her home. I called the police. Again. They swept our house. Caleb was gone by the time they arrived, but the back door was busted open. Laura was shaken, bruised, but alive. They brought her to the hospital for scans. Nothing broken, but the trauma was written all over her face. Jessica screamed when I told her. That was her breaking point. No more, she said. He's not taking one more thing from me. She agreed to testify. Against him. Against Renee. Everything. Names, places, what they made her do. It was all going in the report. The case is open now. Caleb is still out there. For now. But the cops are after him. So is the FBI, apparently. Turns out there's more to this ring than we thought. It's going to be a long process. Court hearings. Statements. Recovery. Jessica's still in rehab, but they moved her to a new facility. One with 24/7 security. One I trust. Laura's healing too, slowly. She blamed herself for not being stronger, for missing the signs. I told her, you loved her too much to see it. That's not weakness. That's being a mother. As for me, Some days I feel rage I can't even describe. Other days, I feel numb. But most days, I just feel grateful that she's alive. That we're all alive. We're not okay yet, but we're still here. That has to count for something. I used to think being a father meant protecting your kid from the world. Now I know it means fighting with them. Even when they push you away, even when they scream they hate you, even when they make you the enemy. Especially then. Because the only thing worse than losing her would have been doing nothing. So I didn't. And I won't. Not ever again.